Yo, what's going on, everybody? We've got OCD for EDC in the house. What's up, buddy?
What up?
Is this like your first time doing a face reveal right now?
It is. This is the first face reveal ever. People are probably gonna go, "Oh my God, he's ugly as all hell."
I am honored, bro. I actually, I should have said this to you. I let everyone know that they don't have to. Shabazz, the Nick Shabazz, like did everything top down. Big Red
Right.
EDC did his top down. Zach stuff also. But yeah, man, thank you for doing a face reveal, I guess.
Well, it was inevitable. I mean, I was gonna have to do it at some point, and so this just worked out for sure.
Oh man, awesome. And
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like your name has been popping up everywhere. My viewers have suggested that you be on. I was doing a podcast with Lindy and Richie
Yep.
last night, and they
Lindy
mentioned
Lou?
you. Yeah, they mentioned that
Yeah.
you hooked them up with a power supply, and I was like, that is what this podcast is for. It's like you guys didn't even have a power supply. You was using 9 volts, and someone else in the community like got you guys started, and now you have this kind of side business of like modding knives.
Yeah, for sure. And Lindy and Richie, they're both doing excellent work, and I definitely want to try and help support anybody that's out there doing mod work and just enjoying the hobby at all, and
Right.
I think it's super cool that Lindy likes it so much, and having a girl that is actually getting shit done is pretty awesome.
Yeah, hold on a second, right? Let me just turn
Yeah.
this off real quick. Where I at? Okay. All right, man. But yeah, they were really cool, actually. I was trying to get some mod people on here. I've been doing a lot of knife YouTube, and I'm gonna have some TikTokers on here. We'll get to that. Everyone is always like, how long will it take Ray to mention TikTok or for people to start a podcast? That's like people always think that. But yeah, go ahead.
I'm not into the TikTok thing at all, but my wife is into it. She watches TikTok all the time, and so she's constantly coming to me and saying, "Oh, you got to check this out," and this is so funny. And some of them are pretty funny, but there's also a lot of dumb shit that I see on there.
100%.
Yeah. So I don't even have the app on my phone. And to be quite honest with you, prior to putting up my first YouTube video, I have never had any social media of any kind. I never did Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, nothing. So yeah, this is all a new experience for me, the whole YouTube thing. I had posted videos from racing motorcycles years ago, but never had like a channel name or anything. It was really just for friends and family to be able to see it. And that was probably, God, I don't even know, 10 years ago or something. Yeah. And then just kind of one day I just got kind of a wild hair up my ass to post a video out there of some knife stuff. And now it's kind of grown into what it is now.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because you're a natural. You and your wife are great, by the way. Like I watched that your most recent live. And yeah. I really like that you guys have long form content. People that do lives and just it kind of humanizes us. You know what I mean? That's the goal of this podcast.
Definitely, yeah.
Is to like talk to the people that, knife people are watching every day or every week already, and kind of like get some more stories that you wouldn't normally hear in a live or like a review or something. Because that's always been something that I did on my channel was, since I live in New York City, which is really odd for a person as into the hobby as I am,
right.
I think that's what piqued people's interest at first. Is like, there's this crazy Asian guy in New York City, like carrying knives that we like, and like I'd vlog around the city, show people what my girl and I are doing, and people are like, "Oh my God, it's New York City! Like it's weird." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I can't do that now because people are being cremated in the street. But I mean,
right. Yeah.
How's that been going for you, by the way? The whole quarantine Corona situation.
My wife and I, we live in Iowa, and so your world and my world could not be more diametrically opposed. I literally I have 2 neighbors, and they are just the closest houses within a mile of us. So we live out in the middle of nowhere. But so like around our home, it hasn't changed anything. You know, I mean, we still do all the same things that we've always done. But, you know, going into town that's, you know, 8 or 10 miles away, they've started ramping it up again with the masks and that stuff. And it, you know, honestly, it really isn't that big of a deal. I'm really just bitching. I mean, when I hear myself say it, I'm like, I'm bitching about nothing. Like, the worst part of my day is I have to put a mask on, and, you know, I mean, who doesn't want this covered up, you know? Like, let's be real. But yeah, so, you know, it really hasn't been that big of a deal. I mean, we haven't gotten any, you know, nobody that I know has been sick or anything like that. There's been a few people that I work with that have had like some COVID scares, if you will.
Dude,
but it ended up being nothing. Yeah. I mean, he's really it, but I don't really, you know, I've never met him in person, so I don't really know him. But yeah, like, it just really hasn't affected my life much at all. I'm still, my wife and I both, we didn't lose our jobs. So really not a whole lot has changed for us, honestly.
Yeah, it's crazy because my girl and I, you know, my fiance Kelly, she's like, yeah, you know, I wish we lived out like in the country and stuff like that. And you know what's crazy is like, I want that too. You know what I mean? Even though I grew up here, I've lived here since 1987. I was born in the Philippines, and then I came here, lost the accent. I sounded like Manny Pacquiao at first, but then it changed.
Nice. Excellent.
You know, yeah. So, you know, she's always like, oh man, it wouldn't be dope if like you leave your house and you're like on a beach, or you leave your house and it's just like mountains. And I'm like, I would love that, you know? My girl and I watch all those survival shows, and I listen to Joe Rogan all the time. And I'm like, I want to eat elk and all this other stuff. But, you know, I just don't have that option here.
Well, we don't have beaches or mountains, but we do have wide open spaces.
And corn.
And corn. We have a lot of corn. Not as much as what, you know, it's funny because for some reason people get Iowa and Idaho mixed up a lot. And everybody thinks Idaho is nothing but potatoes. And that's actually not true. I actually work in Idaho quite often, and Idaho is absolutely gorgeous. If you want to see good mountains, Idaho's where it's at. That's like a hidden gem that nobody talks about. Everybody thinks to go to Colorado and whatnot. Idaho is where it's at. You go to Sun Valley, it's gorgeous. But but in Iowa, you know, most people think that it's just totally flat and corn everywhere. And it really isn't. It's actually quite hilly. Illinois is actually a lot flatter, and just, you know, just straight like pool table flat for miles and miles. And then Nebraska is like that as well. And where Metal Complex lives out in western Kansas, there's absolutely nothing out there. So if he ever says that, if he talks shit about Iowa or anything, you can laugh in his face, because I've been to Hays, Kansas, and it ain't special, let me tell you.
Dude, the craziest thing about Metal Complex is when I had him on here, he is like the biggest, he's like as big of a nerd as I am.
Oh, yeah.
But he's like,
oh, no, I would say he's a way bigger nerd than you are, honestly.
No, we talked, right? And I'm like, what video games do you play, right? And I'm expecting the first person stuff, like, oh, I play Call of Duty. He's like, no, I play like Diablo 3, Destiny 2. I'm like, that's what I play, you know? But he's like this jack dude. So it's like, does it make sense?
Well, and I think that proves my point that there's literally nothing to do in Hays, Kansas. So they're still stuck in like the 90s Disney movies. Obviously, by the way he talks, you know, he has some fantasies that he's like saving princesses with some magical sword and all this kind of shit. And then they just go and work out all the time, because there literally is nothing else to do. He's gonna be pissed when he sees this.
Nah. He you know what? Like, the thing about us knife guys is like, we rag on each other, but it's all love, man. You know?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
That's definitely the one thing about me, for example. The way I grew up is Filipinos joke all day. That's all we had back then. So my family and I are literally, you know, learning how to speak English from SNL, like in the 80s, and like movies. That's perfect. And we're like making fun of each other. So that has been a thing. Like, when I care about someone, I make fun of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's how we are as well. You know, and I think, you know, you were talking about the long format live shows and whatnot. And with my wife and I, you know, it's really not much about the knives at all, honestly. It's really, just that's the excuse to get on there and just shoot the shit and make fun of people and, and say stupid stuff.
It was like a big community thing when I watched it. It felt like, oh, this is them, how they get in touch and keep in touch with their community. Right now, I'm doing that through comments, and people send stuff in so that I could kind of react to them. That's kind of the podcast, and unboxings has become the bread and butter of the channel. And I noticed that people that do lives, that's how you kind of get close with your community. Like I was like, fuck, I got to start a live, man. I got to start a Patreon. Like people are like telling me like, look, I will give you money every month, start a Patreon or something. And like, I just, I haven't, but I'm gonna, you guys inspired me. I watched that live.
It's really strange.
Yeah.
I never thought 10 people would watch the videos that I put out there. So I'm, humbled and blown away at some of those, how well some of my videos have done. But then I had the same thing. I had several people asking me to do a Patreon. And I honestly felt pretty weird about it. It just seems odd to me, but the more that I think about it, the more that, if people are getting enjoyment out of it and they spend or getting anything out of it, honestly, I mean, if people watch my videos and they enjoy them to any extent at all, and I'm providing content to them, then if they want to be a part of it, then that's awesome. I certainly appreciate it. And it's just, the response has been amazing, honestly. And I know I've heard several other people say that, and I'm sure they feel the exact same way I do. Because I knew none of these people. I started my channel just right at a year ago. And I don't know what the normal kind of progression is or how most YouTube channels grow or whatever, but I feel like it's done pretty well, and it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's done super well. I mean, considering that I started out around the same time as Zach, Jimmy / JT's Knife Life, that's my class of YouTube. And I ended up taking a long hiatus from YouTubing because I was like watching a lot of cinematographers at the time, these big monsters on YouTube that are like cranking out the highest possible Hollywood quality content every single day on YouTube. And I was like, I have to be them, because when it comes to knives, I'm a moron. I don't know anything, right? I love it just as much as the next guy, but I can't tell you what grind is what. I'm mainly an action snob and an aesthetics person because I live in New York City. I'm not doing, what's hard use really? Like I cut cardboard, or maybe I stab a 2-liter bottle even though I don't have to. You know what I mean? Like, that's really the extent of it. But
or you get your 3-inch blade out to open a bag of tips or something.
3 to 3 1/4. That's my jam. I've got small Asian fish paw hands. I'm afraid of
I'm more into the 4-inch stuff.
Yeah, 4-inch is good. But it's like I've never gotten caught with a knife on me, but I've definitely been bag searched before. That was years ago. Right now it's kind of different. I actually wish there was more police right now, dude. The streets are wild.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, the train just coming home today, I had, and I'm no, I'm not pussy. Like I'm no punk. I lived here for a long time. I've seen New York City from the streets just filled with gangsters to like how much cleaner it is now. But just on this train ride coming home, I felt 2 instances. When you get that vibe where you're like, all right, something might happen. Like I've had like 2 or 3 instances just from one ride alone. That's just, and I take the train 6 days a week. So how did we get to this point, man? What were we talking about? I've got ADHD, so sometimes it goes just like this. OCD.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, ADHD. OCD. That's right. That's right. No, I applaud you guys that can do it. Live in the city. When I was growing up, my wife and I both are from Central Illinois, and back when I was growing up, we used to always go to Chicago for concerts and whatnot, and not that Chicago is the same as New York City, but it's still it's a large city.
No, dude, it's pretty crazy. It can get pretty wild over there.
Yeah, for sure. But things have changed a lot, definitely. Back when I was growing up, I mean, I graduated in the late 90s, graduated from high school. And I mean, we used to jump on the train and it was like a 2.5-hour train ride to get to the city. And we'd go there for the weekend, go to concerts, just a group of kids, and I couldn't picture my kids doing that today. I have 2 children, and yeah, just, I don't know, things are different for sure.
Yeah. You know, so let's go back to the YouTube stuff a little bit. You are part of the Apex Pass Around group, right?
I am. Yep.
Yeah. How has that experience been for you?
You know, it's been good all the way around. Other than it literally hit at, so my oldest child is graduated high school this year and is going into the Air Force, and so that's there's just been a lot of madness and craziness going on, you know, and then with the COVID on top of it, doing a graduation party and then a going away party for him going into the military. It's been kind of hectic and chaotic. So I've been in the Apex Pass Around group for, I'm going to say 2 or 3 months, maybe, so something like that. And so just one night out of the blue, David Blade Banner hit me up on Instagram. Dude. Yeah, just super nice guy, and he's like, "Hey man, I've watched some of your videos. You know, would you like to be a part of this?" And I was so naive and stupid. Like, I had no idea. I'd heard people say Apex Pass Around group, but I didn't know anything about it. And so, you know, he kind of explained it all to me, and then we actually talked on the phone a bit. And yeah, I mean, it's been really cool. But the kind of shitty part about it is that the last couple months of my life have just been absolute madness, and we've had so much going on. And yeah, it's literally for like the last 2 or 3 months, I've been the busiest I've ever been in my life, and just really haven't had time to do much of anything. Mm-hmm. So I feel bad. Just the other day, I was going through, I have kind of like a little area where I have all my knife stuff set up, and I was moving knife boxes around, and I found the Concept Cryo.
Oh yeah.
Apex. Yeah. Totally forgot about it, dude. I got it. I opened the box. I set it off to the side, and then like I put another box on top of it, and it just sat in the back. And thankfully, I didn't have it for that terribly long. And actually, I just sent a couple of knives to you just a couple days ago.
Is that the? So, wait.
I don't remember what I sent you. Yeah, I shipped a couple knives to you.
It's not the big box, right? It's not the Williamson stuff. Okay.
No. I literally just, I mean, this was maybe even yesterday. What is today? Tuesday?
Cool.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I sent to you.
Yeah, you know what? I always forget.
I know it had your address on it. I sent out like 20 packages yesterday. So,
dude, I talked to Jimmy Slash, and I was like, "How do you keep up with all this like PIF stuff?" You know about him, right?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. Sometimes I ship like 300 packages. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, right.
It's like, what?
Dude, I just recently did a big knife sale and had, I don't even know how many packages I had. Like our whole island in our kitchen was just covered with knife packages. And yeah, dude, it's crazy, man. I never dreamed that it was going to get to this point. You know, I mean, like I have fucking stickers made with my logos and shit. Like I think about it, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? You know, it's just, it's all moved pretty quickly.
That's really awesome though. That's exciting, man. You know, it's like when I watch Zach or Big Red or you know, you even, I'm like, because man, I feel like everyone has so much more money than me. Like
dude, I can assure you I'm broke.
To pay for any, like I can't afford a PO box. I got stickers made because I won a contest from Sticker Pro, and I was fortunate enough to get like hologram stickers made. But it's like living in New York City, and my family just started a business, so my investment in it is to take this huge pay cut, and I'm there 6 days a week. You know, shout out to A-List CBD. It's going super well. CBD is this big booming business that's gonna like.
Oh, I imagine, yeah.
It's gonna catapult by 2024, and like we have a pretty big foothold in Brooklyn right now because we're the only CBD shop where you can go in and actually talk to people that know a lot about it. And
right on.
But you know that means I just don't have a lot of cash flow. I just have enough to pay for this apartment. I have not bought a knife since like the Artisan Cutlery Small Archeo by Dylan Malley. I think that's the last one that I bought. That's like almost a year, right? Like,
and you bought that when it came out?
I bought it when the copper one came out on White Mountain.
That's got to be close to a year ago.
Yeah. Basically, the Apex Pass Around group, viewer donations and loaners have kept the channel afloat. But also, like I said before, the podcasts have become the bread and butter of the channel. You know, it's like,
right on.
I was just like, you know, I was like, what, you know, you got to set a big goal or whatever. And I was like, you know what, man, I'm going to be the Asian Joe Rogan of the EDC world. That's what I'm going to do. And just connect.
Asian Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I'm going to shave my head and milk and get jacked.
Yeah.
I was like,
so are you a fan of Joe Rogan? You're a big fan of Joe Rogan?
I watch a lot of podcasts. That's basically how I use my same methods for learning English, which is I watch SNL, I watch all the comedies. I've said this before, like the first movie I watched when I came to America was Coming to America with Eddie Murphy.
That's beautiful. That's perfect. That's a wonderful movie to watch.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? And you know what's crazy? I lived in Queens, and that McDonald's, which was the McDowell's, right? It was on Queens.
McDowell's, yeah.
That's the McDonald's that we went to.
That's like, awesome, dude.
But yeah, like I used the same method. I was like, look, I can talk pretty well, but I want to be like funnier. I want to like be, you know, quicker, snappier, and be able to talk to a wide range of people. I was already listening to Joe Rogan, so I just started listening to all these comedians and their podcasts, and how they do it. And I was like, this is a format that would work in the EDC world, but it hasn't been done in this way yet, you know? Where let's say you were promoting something. Let's say you're promoting, like, maybe you designed a knife one day and you're like, want to talk about it, get some coverage for it. You could come on the show and then we can talk about it for an hour and a bunch of other stuff, and you're going to get free coverage. You know?
We'll have to talk about that, because there might be some things coming.
Dude, you're more than welcome to be on this show anytime. Anyone who's ever done this, I always leave that door open. Like, you can talk, even if you like say, oh man, I just did this huge giveaway, I want to get more press on it, and you just want to do a quick one for like a quick 20-minute segment, like I will no problem do that, you know?
Yeah, right on, dude. That's awesome.
Dude,
I felt bad the other night. I do have some stuff in the works. Ooh. And honestly, I've worked with metal my whole life. I started welding at a really, really young age. My dad was a union pipe fitter and started me welding when I was real little. And so I've always worked with metal. I've been making knives and stuff since I was a little kid. And so one of the really kind of the main reason that I started my channel was really, I guess, kind of in an attempt to get a following for a production model. So
I like the way you think, buddy. Yeah.
So there's some stuff coming. I've been like I told you before, I've been insanely busy, so I haven't really been able to do a whole lot with it in the last couple of months. But things are kind of calming down now, and you know, as life gets a little bit more back to normal, I've got a few things coming pretty quick. So that's some accessory stuff, as well as some full on knives. So yeah, it should be cool. For sure. And I'll definitely hit you up when I'm ready to unveil it. It'll be cool for sure.
Here's a cool idea that I have, actually, that the people with lives that are popping already, right? Like, is to like, if there was a way to do what Knife Junkie does and like put people on. I know the streaming service he uses. I was on the show before, and he told me what it was. And that would be another cool way to just get somebody on. You know, these comedians, like, they'll get a call from one of their friends and they'll just like put it on speaker and they'll be on the show for like a good 2 minutes or something, is another thing I'm kind of playing with. But, you know, back to the lives for a second, like, it seems that you've got a really good handle on the way you do it. How many times do you post a week? And do you do one live a week? Like, what's the schedule like?
Generally speaking, we do a live show every Sunday evening. We go at 8 p.m. Central Time. And it's my wife and I, and we just bullshit. And yeah, we do, you know, we kind of have, I was trying to come up with ways to get people more involved in the show. And so I started this thing that we call the TSA. It's the Sharpest Apex. And it's a knife sharpening competition, if you will, where I have one of the sharpness testers, the best certified sharpness tester.
Yeah.
And so we have a wheel kind of similar to like Wheel of Fortune, and we spin the wheel of steel and we choose a steel for the month. And then at the end of every month, we do a live show and people can send their knives in. There is a small entry fee. It's $20. But you can win prizes. I've got, I don't know if you've heard of the company Sharpening Supplies.com.
I believe
They're
so,
out of
yeah.
Wisconsin. Okay. So they've got some really great, you know, all the products that you need for knife sharpening. And they kind of sponsor the show and give, well, recently I've been giving away these like 12-inch strops. They're like a large paddle strop with some compound. And so they're like $50. So people can win a strop, and then I give away my stickers and stuff. And then I always give away a knife as well, like a $50 knife.
Yeah.
But those have been a lot of fun. And then just recently, we in 2 weeks we're gonna have a box of crap, which oh god.
Is this
so this
like you talked about this on your live, like the last one, right?
Yeah, we talked about this on the live. Yeah, so it was again, just, you know, getting people involved. You know, we have a lot of the same kind of fans coming back, but the live shows keep growing every week. You know, there's always somebody new in the chat saying, "Oh, this is my first time here," but anyway, so on August 16th, 2020, depending on when people are watching this, I guess, but we're going to do a box of crap. So people that watch the show can just send in anything they want. So my wife and her friends are really the ones that started this. But this has been going on for years and years. And so like when one of them has a birthday or whatever, that it started actually when we all lived locally to each other. It was bag of crap, and they would give it in a garbage bag. And literally it would be like one busted rollerblade and like a dented beer can and you know, well, just totally random shit. Like,
I'm going to send you
it was hilarious.
Jerky. I'm going to send you beef jerky.
Oh, beautiful.
That's labeled dried bat, and it says from Wuhan, China on it.
Perfect. Just dried bat from China. Oh, that's beautiful.
Dude, that is, you guys do some fun stuff, man. You know, you guys definitely have a knack for this. Like, I saw the flag with people's names, and I was like, yeah, brilliant ideas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we just, you know, that hangs in my office at the house, and that's the patron flag. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, just trying to come up with something, just be different, really is what it all boils down to, you know. And even with, like, I do a lot of knife mods and stuff, and you know, I do a lot of anodizing and different things, and everything I just try and be different from what everyone else is doing. And so when it comes to, you know, like, well, Lindy Lou and her husband, I don't think they're married. Richie.
I think they're, yeah,
significant other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are they married or no? Or
no, they're not. So what's funny is, like, I was talking about their Instagrams, right? And if you click on Lindy or Richie's Instagram, they tag each other with like a heart, like in their kind of like description. Okay. And I'm like, oh, I guess I told them, I was like, oh, I guess that's what the young people are doing, you know, because like I'm engaged and I don't have it. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I knew that's how I found out who Richie was. He was following me already, but I think at the time, like, his following was smaller. So I didn't know, you know, sometimes you get added on, I don't know how active you're on Instagram, but sometimes you get added and like, I have to try to figure out if this is a real person or not. You know,
for sure.
And at the time, I didn't know that Richie was. But then when I clicked, when I was on Lindy's page and I clicked on his profile, she linked it in her description. I was like, oh, they're together. And then when I asked Lindy, I was like, why don't you and your man come on? Because I also didn't want to come off as the creepy dude. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I had both
that's funny.
On. Yeah.
Yeah. Lindy, actually, she was the she received a box of crap from us, my wife and I, when we sent, she won a giveaway that we did, and we sent her, I don't remember what knife, she won a knife or something, I can't remember, but then we we use some just random shit to like pad the knife in the box. So it's like, you know, like a tube of toothpaste and some dental
That's
floss
useful,
and like,
man.
hey, you know, like nobody said you can't use the Viagra crap. So, yeah, so it'll be fun, you know, and then, you know, on the live the other night, people started making jokes saying they're going to send us a glitter bomb, and I had to break it down.
Oh, yeah,
real serious, because there's only a couple things I hate in this world, and glitter is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not looking to have titty glow all over my house.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, like, glitter could get you in the doghouse, man. You come home and you get glitter on you, and it's like, no, I was just playing with children. No, not in that way, though. I mean, and it's like you're just
with knives and
with knives.
Yeah, right.
It's like you're just in trouble after that.
Yeah,
but
you know, it's funny.
Yeah.
I've been married long enough at this point that like I'm too old, too married, too fat, got too many kids. I ain't even trying to mess around with that shit anymore. That just sounds like work.
Yeah, you know, I say the same thing. Like I look super young. I'm almost 40, right? And you know, when I got with my girlfriend now, my fiance, like I was like, look, this is the best version of me you're gonna get, because I'm done with all the bullshit from before. Like I just tell you exactly what I want. There's like no games, and she's the same way. So I think it's gonna last with this one. I think she proposed to me like a champ. I was like, oh shit, that's never happened.
Right on.
I'm like,
yeah. Yeah, when you know, when you're at a point where you just throw it all out there and just say, look, this is me, and you know, and if she's all in at that point, it'll probably work.
Yeah.
My wife and I, we've been married for like 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think 16. Yeah. Yeah, it's all good, man.
Yeah, you guys have a great chemistry on camera, man. You guys are like, you know, she's kind of handling a lot of the chat window, I'm assuming. And you're kind of just going on with the knives. And that's like a really, fuck, I wish my girl did that. My girl, though, right now, you know, I keep shouting out her new Instagram. It's Happy Go Sucky. That's not a sexual thing. She sells succulents. She's become this crazy plant lady.
I love the name.
Dude, she's
Happy
hilarious.
Go Sucky.
Yeah. So she's become this crazy
I
plant
saw
lady.
her in another video. She's not Asian, right? Because
no, she's
Happy
not.
Go Sucky would be.
I like my women how I like my rice, white and skinny. No, I'm just kidding.
There you go. There you go. I dig it.
She's from North Carolina. That's a joke that usually falls flat. I don't know why I keep saying it.
No, dude.
It's so fucked up.
No, it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. But anyway, like, you know, she's become this crazy plant lady, and like, she's had her Instagram for only like 2 weeks. She's like, you know, at 500 subs or something. She's posting 3 times.
And they're all just dirty old men. When they see Happy Go Sucky, they're all like, fuck yeah.
Imagine, I just look at the thing and it's just like, some guy has like a profile picture. It's like Jeffrey Epstein. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yes. Yeah, exactly. You need to tell her that like the homepage needs to be a picture of some Asian in lingerie. I bet she gets way more followers. Say Happy Go Sucky.
Oh my God. It's a massage parlor.
That's right. Yeah.
No, like what's crazy though with her
long time.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's crazy with her stuff though is like she's selling like every day, like because she sells the plants.
Really?
She imports them
That's awesome.
from like different places and then puts them up on Etsy.
Wherever succulents grow.
Yeah, I think like
I don't even know where they come from.
Korea, like I don't know north or south, I'm not sure, but they're beautiful though. You know what I mean? I don't know if they're communist succulents or not.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna guess they're South Korean succulents. Just because they'd be mean little fuckers if they were from North Korea.
When you get the package, there's just like a stamp of Kim Jong-un on it.
Right.
No, but she's been selling
the best succulents ever. That's awesome, man.
She's like, oh man, I made $500 today. I'm like, what? Like, what?
Yeah.
Why can't I? You know, I just tell her like, dude, just keep doing what you're doing. So like, I could just stay home.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because
just be a stay-at-home dad.
How is that knife sale stuff? How does that go for you usually? Do you sell a lot? Let me ask you this. Let me rephrase the question. Do you sell a lot of knives back so that you can get new stuff in? a lot. I mean, is that
For sure.
something that you do?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I wouldn't be able. There's no way. If I kept all the knives that come across my table, I'd be broke. So yeah, I have to sell. I mean, I sell. As a matter of fact, I keep very, very few of them. So most of all the stuff that I'm in the Spyderco Collector Club, and pretty much all of those I sell. Every so often, I keep one, but not very often.
Dude, what does that cost? That Collector Club thing?
Dude, it can be spending, man. There's months where
do you pay it like every month, or is it like through the year?
Well, you pay when the knives ship, and so you have to be sponsored through a dealer. I actually have a video that talks all about it, like all the details and all the different options and stuff there are. But I tell people all the time they need to be prepared to it, and it's not like this every single month, but you need to be prepared to spend about $2,500 a month.
Damn, bro.
Just, and like I said, it's not like that every month, but it can be, and you don't know when they're coming. Like right now, as of today, there's a box with 4 knives shipping to me, and retail cost on those, that box is probably, I don't know, $700 or $800, something like that, and that's just one box. And it's going to come in August, and I may get 4 or 5 more boxes before the end of August.
Whoa, that's that white privilege.
Yeah.
Oh,
shit, here we go.
No, because I couldn't even fathom that. No, I mean, maybe I could. When I was working in an office and, I was making the big dough, I could. But right now, small business owner, like it's you gotta, first 5 years, is going to make or break you. And we're in the second, going on the second year right now. It's going well, but you know what I mean? I can't like buy a Sebenza like when I want, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Dude, I want to talk about your love of Two Sons, and that makes me so happy. Like when I watched your channel, right? And I was like, oh, this dude is into Two Sons. I was surprised. You know what I mean? Because people are usually like only into USA made stuff. Or they're into like everything, right? Most of my friends are JT, Zach stuff. You even like Neves Knives loves Tucson. But I was very happy to see you like repping Tepe Designs, Mazwan Mokhtar. I was like, oh, this is my dude right here, man. You know what I mean? Because I love these USA made shit
some
too.
of my favorite guys.
But I definitely like what Tucson is doing.
For me, man, it's all about. So I actually, I'm a really mechanical guy. Like I said, I've been working with metal my whole life, but I also do a lot of mechanical things and build a lot of race engines and stuff. I've been into racing my whole life. And so when it comes to mechanical stuff, that's really what kind of draws me into knives and the EDC gear is the mechanics of it, I guess. And for me, I just like quality stuff. I like quality made items, quality materials, good machining, and Tucson does phenomenal work for the money. Like it is for anyone. And I see all these people, that'll talk shit about, oh, I'm only doing USA made and this and that, whatever. And trust me, man, when it comes to being patriotic, I'm ride or die USA.
Yeah, you got the flag like right on the channel.
Yeah.
The crazy thing, let me just add this real quick on that, right? Those same people all have iPhones. Like all of them. That's what
absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
Because there aren't people in a Tucson knife factory throwing themselves off buildings, but at Foxconn where they make iPhones, they do it every day. So
absolutely.
It's like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's the same thing as the NBA, right? They're allowing players to have whatever, like Black Lives Matter or like fuck the police or whatever on their jersey. Cannot say anything about Hong Kong though. Cannot say fucking anything. And it's like crazy.
And it's total horseshit.
But that's the thing with me. It's like, look, if you're going to go all in on the USA made brands and things like that, I respect that because I do think there is a value in that. I think the US kind of needs to go back and bring some of that manufacturing back here. I've outsourced stuff for a company before, and I know it's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's
and I fully support that. And like my own products, you know, I said that I have some stuff coming and they will absolutely be USA made, without question. But the thing is, what I don't like is that, in my opinion, and it's just because I've had these things in my hands. There are several knife manufacturers, and it happens to be that the EDC knife game is where some of the most habitual violators of this are. That they are living off of the idea of being US made. There are a few manufacturers that make really pieces of shit. I mean, let's just be honest. And they're way overpriced. It's insane the kind of horrendous quality that they're shipping out for $500, $600, $700, when I can buy the same knife or not the same knife. I can buy a much better knife from Tucson that is grade 5 titanium. It's M390. It's, you know, it's all the same stuff. There you go. I actually have that. I since we were going to do this and I'm in a hotel, I've got the saber tooth right here.
Oh shit, dude. Mazwan Mokhtar, right? I didn't know what model this was. So this is another cool thing I love about the EDC community, is that like we are massive, but we're still kind of close knit still. So like I just took a picture of this blade from my Instagram, and I was like, which Tucson is this? And then I tagged Mazwan Mokhtar, like, is this one of yours? And he was like, yup, that's right. You know, and I'm like, oh shit, that's so cool, you know?
Yeah, Mazwan's a great guy. He's actually jumps in our live streams sometime on Sunday nights, and we'll get in there and comment and whatnot. A super cool guy, and I love his designs. They're great. This is a new one from him, the 243.
Ooh,
it's awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that carbon fiber?
It is a titanium liner lock.
Nice.
And yeah, just it's awesome. It's a front flipper, and it's got a little flipper tab.
Oh shit, that's so cool. How much was that?
Yeah. I'm thinking that they were selling for just over $100, 120, something like
on
that.
On eBay?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because the Sabertooth Winchester Ink was like, I got this for like $88, and it's like 100 something everywhere else. I was like, yo, that's crazy. That's wild. It's like $390.
Yeah, dude. And if this was made by any U.S. manufacturer, it'd be $300 or $400.
Yes, easy.
Yeah. And so, you know, I'm all about, you know, U.S. manufacturers. I support them when I can, without question. I mean, I've got tons of knives that were U.S. made, but I'm not going to support companies that are sending out stuff that isn't up to today's standards and charging crazy prices for it just because it's made here in the U.S. You know, so that's kind of where I stand on it. You know, I think Nick Shabazz says it better than anyone when he says that quality is about, I don't remember exactly how he words it, but quality has nothing to do with geography. It's about giving a shit or whatever, something along those lines.
Quality is about. That's the shitty Nick Shabazz impression. It's on in my head. TRM. What do you think about TRM? Have you ever had any TRM knives?
Do you want the truth?
Yes.
I'm not a fan.
Not a fan. Which one did you check out?
I've had the Atom and the Neutron. I bought into the hype. I feel, honestly, the Atom and the Neutron to me are the two most overhyped knives in the last 2 years. And, you know, I call this the Shabazz effect.
Yeah.
And I was guilty of it. I bought into it. And I got an Atom, and another friend of mine had ordered one too, right? And it may have been the second drop of Atoms. And then when it came time to get them, he was had some money issues, and so I knew that I'd be able to sell it immediately. And he's like, well, will you take this off my hands? And I said, sure. And so I got 2 of them actually on that drop. And when I received those knives, when I opened them, I was all excited. I opened them. I sold both of them within, I think, 3 days. I didn't even put them on camera because I had nothing nice to say about them.
What was the problem?
The problems were the knives themselves are very, very thin. overall. And the corners are all very sharp on the G10, and they're just not well finished at all. Everyone bitched and complained about the bug out being so flimsy that you could squeeze it together. And the Atom, I can just bend it in half. I mean, easily.
I definitely felt like, especially the liner part, like the liner lock.
It's so flimsy.
It's very thin. I can definitely agree with that. The G10, like I can definitely agree with that.
The thing that really did it for me though was, the blade stock. I'm all about good blade geometry, and the blade stock on those is like 80,000, 85,000, something like that, or somewhere between 80 and 90, and that's awesome. I'm all in. The problem is that one of them that I had, and this was on the Atom, one of them was 27 thousandths behind the edge, and the other one was 30 thousandths behind the edge, and that's horrible. You're starting with a blade stock that's 90 thousandths at the spine, and if you're going to make a really thin knife like that, make it cut aggressively. Like this Tucson knife, this thing's like 10 thousandths behind the edge, and it slices beautifully. And so the other thing, I don't really care for the thumb studs. They're just uncomfortable, and then you have to buy rubber bands from them or O-rings to put on the thumb studs. And then when you buy the O-rings, they only give you one side, so you have to buy two sets of O-rings. Like, there's several things about it that my favorite part about what TRM is doing, and I'm not trying to just from what I understand, the people that run the company are super, super nice.
They're very
and
chill.
That's fantastic. And so I'm not trying to bash them or anything like that. Their knives just weren't for me. And
hey man, everyone's got their preferences. And that's the wonderful thing about the EDC world, is everyone's gonna like what they like. And that's
I do really love their logo.
Me too.
Where the logo's awesome. And where it's etched into the blade, I like the way that they do that. That's honestly my favorite part of the knife. So
with me, my experience with them was I had the Atom. What's crazy is I won an Atom in a raffle on the Apex Pass Around group. Because in the Apex Pass Around group, I'm not sure if you know this, but certain companies will send us knives, and whoever reviews them, later you'll be entered in a raffle where you could win it.
I've heard of that, but that hasn't happened for me yet.
Dude,
so that's that Asian privilege.
I know,
that Asian privilege.
No, they use an abacus.
Boom! What?
I'm just in there.
Right.
No, I've won a Shaman, a Spyderco Shaman. I've won an Atom. I've won a QSP Puffin.
That's a cool one. The Puffin's cool.
Civivi Kiri EDC, designed by Alessandro DeSantis. That's a fixed blade. I won a bunch of stuff, but I won the Atom, and I live in New York City. I want something, 3-inch blade length, 3 to 3.25. So I traded a buddy of mine. Shout out to Bob B, not Bobby. That's what I call him. Bob B is his name. But so I traded him for the Neutron, and the Atom and the Neutron gave me the same feeling with the G10. It was just too rough, man. It's rough on the pocket, but I switched because Bob B gave me three pairs of scales, and one was polished micarta, and I like that much better. I did notice the thinness of the G10 thing too. Maybe it's because I got small Asian fishball hands, and like I literally have the light use only. Like some would say the lightest use. So I don't have any hard use. It's mainly just flicking the knife open. I'm not a big modification guy, and I just like being able to switch the scales out, even a doofus like that.
And that part's cool. Like I like the engineering behind, being able to switch the scales quickly and easily. It's not that I dislike the design. I do. I think the look of it's good. I like the profile of the knife. The blade grinds, in my opinion, for what they're charging, I think should be more aggressive and better. I fully understand making a really thin knife and make it, super carryable and all that. But to me, they're just overhyped. And again, like I said, it's just
a preference thing.
Wasn't my
you know what I mean?
I don't hate on people for, I get it. Like people love them, and that's awesome.
Yeah. What do you think about hinderers?
You're striking here.
Maybe we shouldn't like die like.
So they fall. Honestly, the reality is, there's a couple things. Like when they came out with the USA Made Blades exclusive, the half track warning. I thought that thing was. I love the way it looks. It's super awesome. To me, it's another one that's just way overhyped.
Yeah. How much are they now?
I mean, you can't. Well, I think they're
secondary
Jurassic or
only,
something,
right?
The warning half track. You mean?
Yeah.
I think the secondary only, and I'm wanting to say they were $375 or $400 or something from USA Made Blade. But I didn't get one purely just because I love the way it looks. The half track's just way too small for me. That thing's so tiny.
Yep. 3 inches on that one, or
yeah, they're 3-inch blade, and they're just they're small. But the Hinderer stuff for me, it's just. To me, again, I come from a mechanical background, and so I actually machine things myself, and so I fully am aware of what goes into making these items, and I know what it takes to make them, and I've been in that kind of industry my whole life, and so I just pick out all the flaws.
Yeah. No, dude, it's interesting that we have someone like that doing knife review videos and just knife YouTube in general, because we need that. We need that.
Yeah, I mean, to me, there's things like, I've had multiple Medfords come across my table that I've done repairs on for people and fixed things on. And, when you can get this for, what'd you say, $80 or $85 or whatever,
or something.
Yeah. And I guarantee you, if I put your example and mine on a CMM machine, both of them would be identical, and there wouldn't be more than 2 or 3 thousandths difference between both knives.
Yeah.
And you can't say that for any production Hinderer or Medford or, and so it all comes into the setup and the fixturing that's used and the quality of the tooling and making sure that you're, everyone, if you don't know how the process works, most people think that, these are machined knives. So somebody's just putting parts in there and just hits a button and walks away. And it doesn't work like that at all. There's a lot that goes into it. And, there's certainly, many American made knives that I really, really like. But there are a handful of them that I think are just way overhyped.
Yeah.
So
what's like your what's the ceiling, for the price that you would pay for a knife? What's the most expensive? I mean, like 500,
most
475?
Expensive. Yeah, somewhere in that range.
I'm like right there right now. I'd probably have to like, sell my hand or like my kidney, but it's like too damaged from all the partying I did when I was a DJ.
Right.
So they're like, we can't accept this. Like,
yeah. You're trying. This is damaged goods.
I know. They're like, this is not a liver.
Yeah. So, but I just got this.
What's that?
The other day. This is my first Russian.
Ooh.
So this is mechanic knives.
Oh, shit, that looks so cool.
CPM S125V.
Whoa.
And it's lightning strike carbon fiber. And
looks so cool. Is that blue hardware on that too, or?
Yeah, it's blue hardware. He does these like lava.
The pivot color.
Pivot.
The pivot. Yeah. Wow.
And then it's got a titanium.
Wow, that is the deepest carry I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's actually it doesn't stick past the end of the knife is kind of cut off at an angle.
Oh, okay.
But it's flush with this part up here.
Yeah.
But it's a titanium liner lock. And it's the build quality on this thing is stellar. However, this bitch will bite you. That blade is right there in the back, as well as the blade length. I don't know if you can see it. Dude, it is. This thing will get you. So she's pretty, but she'll hurt you.
Yep. How much did you, put out for that one?
I think these sell for like between $400 and $450, something like that. but there's a little bit of translation lost in the Instagram deal. And dude, it took like 4 months for this thing to get to me.
So it was
like
like you were dealing with a Russian dealer or something like that, or
no, the maker. This is a full on custom.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Mechanic Custom Knives. He's on Instagram, and he's Alex from Alex's Knife Box. He's got a couple
cool
of
dude.
his knives.
Yeah, I've had him on here before. That's how I landed with Shabazz, is because of Alex's Knife Box.
Nice.
So
nice.
That podcast, it was funny because Alex and I bonded because we were both DJs before in the same scene. Like, he loved trance music, he loved electronic dance music. You know, I was a DJ and a producer, like, professionally. I was only doing that for like maybe 5 years, and I DJed for 10 years. And he was telling me how, like, yeah, you know, I went to dinner with one of my old buddies, and we were, you know, I was with my wife, and then, you know, he was just telling her all these stories, like, oh man, remember all those pills? And then his wife is like, you? No way. But Nick Shabazz,
that's awesome.
Watched that podcast by chance. And then he's like, I love electronic music too. And then I'm like, oh, he messaged me to tell me that. And I was
Shabazz
like, yeah. I mean, I had interactions with him before because he had this contest where it's like the best new knife reviewer channel or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I joined up on that, and
right on.
I got like the most unique voice or something, like, and you know, that's how he remembered me, right? But he messaged me just to tell me that, and then I was like, oh man, that's great, you know, like, I love this and that. We started talking about music, and I'm like, would you ever want to do the podcast? And he was like, sure. Are you free in 45 minutes? I dropped everything, dude. My girl just cooked dinner, and I was like,
that's awesome,
nah, son. Like, I'm doing this pod right now. And she's like, what?
Hell yeah.
And then I was like, it's Nick Shabazz. And even she knew who he was. She's like, okay.
She knew who he was?
Yeah, you know, when you drop
I'm trying to picture him with like a pocket protector, listening to dance music, and just like,
he said he never went clubbing.
Corner.
He never
went clubbing. Okay. That makes more sense then.
And he liked the repetitive nature of how, you know, a 4x4 beat like goes. You know,
there you go. Yeah, okay, he's breaking down the structure up. Got it. Yeah, that makes more sense now. Yeah.
So, but that's how I got him, dude, and it is just so crazy, you know.
Yeah, that's funny, man. Yeah. Shabazz, that dude makes me laugh for sure. I don't know if you've ever seen. I did these. I thought they were funny, and you know. Maybe I shouldn't have done it. Who knows? But I put out a couple of videos where I was like making fun of. They were like spoof videos. Well,
I saw the Big Red
did one of you.
Yes. So, and then that's when I really started knowing about you, because I did watch that video as well. I watched your video too, and I was like, that's so hilarious, man. Dude, that
so
I've actually when Big Red did that. Like, I was like,
that's awesome.
Clamped, you know what I mean? If the tears hadn't run dry, I would have been like, I was so honored that he did it. You know?
Yeah, that's cool. And so I did. Do you know Hilltop Knives and Gear? BJ Hill?
Yep.
Yeah. I did one kind of spoofing him or whatever, and it's pretty funny. You should go check that one out. That's by far my best work.
Yeah, is he a cool dude? Like, you know, I'm always looking for new guests. I like putting people on. You know, people get exposure to people that watch me, because
for sure.
Although we have a lot of the same viewers, there are some people that don't watch you that watch me, and vice versa.
Oh,
you know?
For sure. Absolutely.
That's why this format works so well, man. Like, to just grow this class of knife YouTubers, you know, just like Joe Rogan did it. I mean, everyone was making fun of him when he started podcasting. They were like, what are you doing? Like, even his friends that are like podcasters now were like, Joe, get this camera out of my face, you know, like stuff like that. And then years later, he's the biggest thing. Basically, he gets more views than any TV show. Like, I think he gets like, I think he gets like 90 million downloads an episode. Like, that's crazy.
Right.
That's great. Hey, did you know? Did you hear about the Spotify deal with him?
Well, yeah, he's leaving YouTube, right?
Yeah,
and going to Spotify. Yeah.
And this is again, I'm going to segue into why I think people should have podcasts. So, I have been using an app called Anchor to distribute the audio version of my podcast automatically. You upload it to one place, It puts it on iTunes. It puts it on, you know, a bunch of all the podcast platforms, including Spotify. So I already have stuff on Spotify. They don't have video yet, but once Rogan goes on there, I'm definitely gonna make content for on there too. Yo, and you know what's crazy? Joe has been mentioning Benchmade, Cold Steel, like lately in his podcast, and I'm like, oh shit, we're reaching mainstream.
Yeah. And you know, Rogan's a pretty cool guy. I actually met him years ago. I used to do some mixed martial arts fighting years ago, and
that's dope.
So he was pretty.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So he was, you know, back in the early days. I mean, you know, I'm going way back into the late '90s when you know UFC. There was only 1 or 2 a year, and you know, it was a much different thing back then.
It was like Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Kind of, yeah, dude. I love that movie, but dude, when I was like 13, Bloodsport was on.
He can't like see anything.
Yeah, can't see anything. Yeah,
he's trying to help his boy.
Drops down. Yeah,
he's trying to help his boy.
Frankie, like, Texas.
Hit him in the stomach. Yeah,
dude. Yeah, Bloodsport's an amazing movie.
That's crazy, man. Yeah. So go on with your Joe Rogan story. Like, you met him. How did that happen?
Yeah, he's just well, so in the Midwest, I don't know if you're into UFC stuff at all.
Yeah, dude, I watch it religiously.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So you've heard of guys like Matt Hughes and Pat Miletich.
Yep. Pat Miletich, yep.
So these guys are all. That's who I trained with, was Pat. And,
oh shit, that's crazy.
So you know that I grew up in the same area, and wrestling's really big in the Midwest. So I mean, that's really what it all started from, is high school wrestling.
That farmer strength, man. That's a Joe Rogan.
Yeah, no doubt. So you know, and Rogan was always around back in those days. Like, I mean, this was before he was an announcer on, you know, for UFC or any of that kind of stuff. I mean, I would just, you know, at different fights and stuff, and he would be around, and you know, he was training all the time. And what's that?
You would compete?
Yeah, I fought. Yeah.
Oh, snap, dude!
For several years.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. And then I had to grow up and get a life, and you know, like showing up to work on Monday with black eyes and stuff. It just like, you know, yeah, man. I mean, it was cool. I'm glad I did it. It was an experience, and I can tell you that I've never been. I mean, when you get into a cage with, and most of the time back when I was fighting, that we did it in boxing rings. I mean, it was at bars, you know, and it was tournament style. You had to fight multiple times in one night.
Yeah.
And then looking back on it now, you know, these guys are all, you know, and I'm not trying to be like the get off my lawn kind of old guy or whatever, but literally, I mean, back then it was, I mean, you'd have to fight 3-4 times in a night to win. And, you know, it might be for $1,000 or $3,000 or something. And, it was crazy, man.
Dude,
and
that is amazing. Do your viewers know about that?
I don't know. I know, I mean, I've talked to you know, Blade Banker, Ben Sutton.
Yeah.
From Blade Banker. He and I have talked about it a little bit. I know he's into UFC and whatnot, and I don't think he ever competed, or maybe he trained some MMA stuff or did some jiu-jitsu. But I mean, it's not something that I really talk about that often. I mean, you were just bringing up Joe Rogan.
It's cool though. It's definitely cool, you know, like being Asian. Right, I am that stereotypical dude. I did learn martial arts from when I was very young.
Right,
I competed in, like, you know, tournaments, but not like I was a young kid, you know. But one thing that martial arts taught me was more along, like, you know, like respect and stuff. That you respect other people and shit like that. Like I don't. I try to avoid fights as much as I can. But one thing that I noticed was, like, because I learned a style of karate which mixed like Jeet Kune Do. And some Kali elements and things like that, called Bastekan. It was my sensei was like a Japanese Filipino guy, and I learned that when I was like 5 years old. I think we took classes till I came here when I was 7. Right, but one thing I learned was, like, once I came to America, I was like, why the fuck do I have so much more balance than these other kids?
Right.
That I always thought that it was martial arts. You know what I mean? Like, it just kind of gives you something.
And like hand-eye coordination. And I mean, there's certain things, like for me, you know, I wasn't necessarily the strongest guy or whatever. I was, I wrestled all through school and stuff, but wrestling teaches you a lot about leverage and how to use it to your advantage. And those are things that are just instinctive for me that I will never, it's just ingrained in who I am at this point. And so, yeah, I mean, things, and it's really just good things to have throughout your life. I mean, if anything happens, and actually had a guy break into my hotel. I travel a lot for work. Shit. I had a guy break into my hotel room in the Kansas City area. I guess this is probably a year and a half ago or so. And dude, what happened was old fucking dad still got it, dude.
Nice, bro.
This dude, I hadn't been in a fight in so long. Yeah. I couldn't even tell you. And I called my wife, dude. It was a full-on deal. Cops, the whole bit, man. I mean, it was crazy. And it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. And like literally, I didn't remember anything. The whole story is fantastic. I should probably just start at anyway, but like 3 o'clock in the morning, this guy, I'd fallen asleep. I had the TV on, and what I actually remember was dragging this guy out into the hallway by his feet. And I looked across the hallway, and there was these two old people standing there staring at me. And I was wearing underwear that had Fruit Loops all over them, which is a whole nother deal. They're like boxer briefs. They're called Meundies.
Oh, Meundies. Yeah, I wanted to try those.
Dude, they're the best underwear ever, dude. I shit you not. So definitely two thumbs up on the Meundies. Okay. They're amazing. Right. But anyway, that's what I had on, dude. And I had that on and blood from like my chin down to my Meundies. And I turned and looked at him, and they looked at me, and I could just see like the look on this woman's face was just like, holy shit. And I looked down, and this guy was tore up bad, really bad. Yeah. And I went back into my room, and I went in the bathroom real quick, and I kind of cleaned up a little bit, and I come back into the hallway. And as soon as I walk back out in the hallway, there's cops walking down the hallway. And I'm thinking, holy shit, man, I'm going to jail. Like, all I could think was the stories about, like, people, shooting a guy that broke into their home, and then the homeowner goes to jail or some bullshit. And dude, nothing like that happened. So, like, dude, this guy, what I know for sure is that I remember getting up off of him. I was on top of him in the middle of the floor. I remember getting up off of him, and I remember turning a light on and looking down at this guy and thinking, like, what in the hell is going on? And then I stomped on him, like his midsection, either 3 or 4 times. I'm confident that I broke ribs when I stomped on him.
Yeah, dude.
But anyway, so the best part about the whole story was this guy was in bad shape. Like, I never heard him speak or anything, but when the paramedics showed up, they intubated him right there in the hallway of they got him on the bed, and they immediately started shoving tubes down his throat. And I'm standing there, and the cops are looking at me and all this shit. But they called the manager of the hotel in, and we watched the security camera, the footage
and all that. Yeah.
Dude, this guy, they ended up finding out that this guy was like a boyfriend or a friend of one of the maids, and he had a key that worked in all the doors.
Oh,
he was going around getting in. And yeah, dude. And so I even said to the cops, I was like, why the fuck would he come in at 3 a.m? Like, I'm going to be in the room. And then the cop looks at me, and he says, do you leave all your money and valuable shit in the room when you're not there? And I was like, oh, not really. No, I mean, at least not like my wallet and shit.
Yeah, that's why.
But so this dude was he was going in the rooms and taking and just hoping he could get out before people, woke up or whatever.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. And my room, he came through the adjoining door. So I had the little lock thing, swung over. But my room had an adjoining door, and there was nobody in the room next to me.
And he had a key, right?
Yeah, he had a key. So in the video, he comes to my door, and you see him open my door a little bit, and then the lock thing would allow him to come in, so he shuts it. He goes into the door next to mine, he obviously knew which rooms had people in them because he walked by a bunch of rooms where there was no one staying in those. So like his girl told him where where people were. And so anyway, he goes in the room adjoining mine, and I don't know, I'm not sure. I mean, there were parts to the lock laying on the floor. So he took the lock apart, and that's how he got into my room. But the best part of the whole thing is, so there's a timestamp on the CCTV little TV.
Yeah.
And so you see him go into the room next to mine. He actually went in there once. He went in there and he was only in there for like 30 seconds, and he walked out and he walked down the hallway a little ways, and then he turned back around and went back in there. And then it was like 17 minutes went by. No, just nothing happening.
And it was just you
time
beating his ass?
Dude.
Holy shit.
Dude, I fucked this little bastard up.
Damn, bro.
Well, I don't know how long it went on.
Yeah.
Because I don't know exactly when he got into my room and shit, but the next thing you see is my fat ass, dude, literally, like, I'm like this, dragging this dude out into the hallway, dude, and you can see it on the TV, dude. It's hilarious.
Wow. And I'm glad you're okay and shit. And, that's the thing. If you've trained to fight before, you are at a different level than anyone.
Yeah,
that's just how it is.
Dude, I just didn't have a scratch on me.
Especially mixed martial arts, cage fighting. If you actually competed, even if you didn't get to the UFC, people don't understand that you're at a different level. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Yeah, especially your wrestling background. Oh my god.
And this guy was a little guy, I'm 6'2", I weigh like 265.
Yeah.
This dude, I mean, I never saw him stand up, but if he was 5'8", that would have been a lot. He was probably 5'6" or something. I bet you he weighed 120 or 130 pounds. Mm-hmm. And so, once I got out of bed and I grabbed a hold of him, it was all over. But dude, my adrenaline was jacked, and for the next several days, I was just like, "Fuck yeah, Dad still got it! Like, bring it, bitch!"
Dude, I'm glad that we're all glad you're okay, man. Because shit like what's funny is I told you I was DJing, right? And I would play all over the US, right? And my manager always tried to save money. And I was playing in DC one time, and I mean, nothing happened, but I literally stayed in a hotel room, where there was a sign when you close the door, and it says, "Please use all locks for your safety."
Beautiful.
What the
perfect,
bro? And then the people who hired me, right, when they came to pick me up, they were like, "Why are you staying here? This is not a good place."
Yeah.
I was fucking Jews, man.
Yeah. Oh god,
dude, that's an amazing story. That I'm glad that this is the EDC
dude,
exclusive right now.
it was awesome, man, for sure.
Dude, that is amazing.
Now that everything was fine, it was all good.
They let you go, everything was all good.
Dude, I was literally shitting my pants because I thought I just kept looking at this guy, dude, and I mean it was very obvious that he had a broken cheekbone. I mean it was all sunk in, and it was ugly looking for sure. And I mean, dude, by the time that they put him in the ambulance, I mean, probably 30 minutes had gone by, and I mean, this dude hadn't moved. I'm thinking, this guy might be dead. I don't know what the hell's going on.
But I mean, dude, you could have died. What if you were sleeping and he fucking did some shit?
Yeah.
I don't here's the thing, some people get really upset with situations like that. Oh, you shouldn't have done that to him. And I'm like, no, but those people probably have never been in an altercation like that.
Right. Yeah.
Living here, that is a reality every day. That can happen to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And most people don't feel that kind of intensity with another human being. And in an alternate reality, things could have gone differently, where you didn't
for sure,
this guy tried to pull some shit, you got hurt. So I'm glad that it was the other way around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it was. Yeah, I mean, looking back on it, certainly things could have went way worse. And I mean, they brought an ambulance and checked me all out. I had a few scratches and stuff on me, but and once the cops actually, we watched the security footage, And then I had to
Were you
give
still
a
in the
written
Meundies
statement.
when you watched the?
No, I threw on some shorts and a t-shirt at that point, but the cops loved it, dude. They were cracking up. And then I started to calm down a bit when the cops were like fist bumping me and stuff. And we're like, dude, you fucked that guy up.
And he was trying to rob you, man. He was robbing people in the hotel. That's fucked up.
Yeah. Dude, he had been in like 12 or 13, I can't remember how many, it was 12 or 13 rooms before mine.
Damn.
And dude, the cops took all the shit out. He didn't have any ID on him, but dude, he had watches and fucking like 4 different wallets in his pockets. Yeah, dude. So they, everybody that was in the hotel that night got their shit back, and the hotel, because I travel a lot for work and it was a hotel that I'd stayed at multiple times. They hooked me up and gave me a bunch of points on my account. Which was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was cool, and it gave me, I'm 40 years old or over 40 now, and gave me a little adrenaline
got a little
boost.
Bit of juice on that,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great, dude. Yeah. And I told the story on I don't think Bob from Knife Junkie knows who I am, because I get on the Thursday night thing every once in a while, but they were asking if anybody had ever been stabbed. Or used a knife in a fight, or I can't remember what they were all talking about.
That's the thing.
I got stabbed.
Yeah,
right here on my chest somewhere in a fight in the Quad Cities. It was a buck. The buck. I can't remember what the hell model it is exactly. It's a little plastic handle, little shitty buck knife.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's shit happens, man.
Yeah, shit happens, man. That's crazy.
Right.
Yo, that's a dope story, man. I'm glad that you told that on here. That is what this podcast is for, guys. That's it. That's it. Yo, people are gonna be like, oh, you just see like a rise. Oh man, that's awesome, dude. Yo, bro, we did like over an hour already. Isn't that crazy?
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
How did you? Nice. Well, I mean, you do lives a lot, so I'm sure you are in the habit of like talking on camera and stuff like that. Some people I ask, right, and like they're like kind of hesitant to come on, and I'm like, I'm the easiest person to talk to, man. Like,
well, I felt terrible because I had so many, and I just don't get on Instagram. I feel bad because I don't get on there enough. I need to do more, but I had so many messages on there, and you had sent me that message, and I just didn't scroll down far enough to see it. And so like it was, I don't know, 3 or 4 days had gone by and I hadn't even seen the message, and then I saw it and I was like, oh shit, this guy has to, and so then I felt bad, but no, man, it was cool. And I mean, I was looking forward to it. So do you record these and then post them?
So
because we're not live right now, correct?
We're not live right now. I haven't. Let's talk about that a little bit, man. So I'm thinking about like doing a live, right? Like, like what like tips do you have? Like, do I have to set up? I know I should set up like the bank account stuff and all that stuff, right? Like,
yeah, I would. Yeah, it seems like people. I mean, I set up like the super chat and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I want to do
that.
Yeah. And for me, there was a couple of things that I wanted to do a live. I wanted to get my wife involved. And I thought doing the live show, she would be pumped on that. And it's worked out well because she is.
Yeah. She's really good on it, man.
Yeah, for sure. And the people seem to like her, which is super cool. And the best part about it is that now that she's involved in the live show, she's more forgiving with all the knives showing up at the house, and you know what I'm saying? Like she's kind of involved as well. And so like, I'm getting passes where I otherwise wouldn't, because if she wasn't involved, she'd be like, this is fucking retarded, but now that I'm like, maybe it's for the podcast, or, it's for the show or whatever, so, so it's cool that she got involved with it. And so I would say, having the super chat set up for sure. I mean, my setup's really janky, honestly. I don't know what everybody else does.
Do you just use a phone, or what do you use?
Yep, I just use a phone. It's not even a new. I have a work phone and a personal phone, but they're both, I think, iPhone 7s.
So what are you using for the chat section?
So
it's all through the phone. Like, I don't know what it looks like. That's why.
Nope. Yeah, so on the phone, the chats scroll up I mean, basically it looks just like if you're watching a YouTube video and the chats are going.
Yeah.
If you get into someone else's live, I mean, that's really what it looks like on screen for
what
you.
What about on your end?
Presenter.
Like, what does it look like?
So
are you using two different devices?
Yes. Yeah. So I have my phone set up that I'm recording with, and I have a microphone. I've got like a one of those. It's a Yeti, like, you know, stand. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a mic.
Like a Blue Yeti.
And yeah. It's like a. I don't know. It was just a decent mic that I found, and it seems to work okay. And it's. I mean, we set it in between us, like in the middle of the table. And it works good for both of our voices.
You guys are opposite of each other, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. And the mic has like a setting, whether you want it to pick up like 360 or 180
or
kind
interview
of a thing.
style. Yeah, I have that one. I think I have the same one.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. So I use that, and then I have a Microsoft Surface Pro that I use for like a laptop. And so I set it up, and then I get in my YouTube creator or the studio or whatever it's called, your creator page. And then I get into the live through there. And so I'm viewing the live.
So on your Surface Pro or your Surface Pro, right? You're using YT Studio, right? The creator.
Yep.
For the chat, and on your other camera, you're also on your YouTube, and you're doing the live like
correct.
That. Oh, yes. So you can. So it doesn't like mess with it if you have two different.
No, yeah, that's correct. You can be logged into two different devices at the same time. Yep. And I didn't know that in the beginning. Like I tried using a webcam because I wanted to be able to see the chat going by, you know?
Yeah.
And the webcam was like,
choppy.
Just the video quality wasn't as good, and you could hear the cameras like trying to autofocus and stuff. And like I bought like the best Logitech camera I could find, you know, and it was still pretty shitty.
Yeah.
And so the phone, just the video quality was better. And then being able to do it, you know, just off the phone, it just makes it so much easier. And then just being able to view it on my screen. Yeah,
I'm gonna try this, man. I've you know, you guys really inspired me to do one. I have a lot of people that do have pretty successful lives. You know, Zach Stuff, Neves Knives.
Yeah, for sure.
Big Red that does Saturday Night Live. So jealous that I didn't think of that name. But
yeah, no doubt, right?
So
like, and
cool.
it was right there for all of us. Right?
I know, like who hasn't watched
Saturday Night
SNL
Live
a few times?
Exactly.
And then, you know, I remember when I first saw that, and when he started doing it, I was like, God damn it! I'm like, why did I get that?
Yeah.
But
there's several things like that frustrate the hell out of me. You know, like right now, I'm a little bit burnt because I ordered my first Monterey Bay knives, the VLD. And it was supposed to be at my house yesterday.
Oh, they were having some shipping problems, right? I remember MBK did. Oh no, maybe that was Dan.
Oh, okay.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, the tracking said it was supposed to be at my house yesterday. So like I was all excited, you know, it's supposed to show up on Monday. No knife, and then it said, and then it was supposed to show up today, and I had to leave to go out of town, and I'm leaving my house, and I see our mail coming down the road. And I was like, sweet, it's here. And I stopped, no knife. And then like a thorn in my side. Today, as I'm driving, I get updates on my YouTube, like coming across my screen on my phone saying, you know, Metal Complex uploaded the MBK VLD today, and I'm just like, you fuckers. And so everyone's getting it before I am, which is just pissing me off.
Do you keep that up, kind of keeping up with the new knives and things, or?
I mean, it depends. It totally just depends on what it is. Like, you know, I feel like there's a lot of people that kind of associate me with the Tucson stuff just because I've done so many videos on Tucson knives. And so I think a lot of people come to my channel to see a lot of the new Tucson knives. So really Tucson is, I get more new Tucson stuff than anything else. Well, I shouldn't say that, and the Spyderco because I'm in the club, but you know, otherwise with other brands, I don't really, I don't really get the latest, greatest of anything, really.
You tried any Civivis yet, or?
Oh yeah, I've had a couple.
You like them?
I don't have any. Yeah, they're all right. They're. I mean, for like, I really dig the Civivi Shredder. I think it's a great knife.
Oh, dude, it's a good one.
The McKenna, shockingly, that one really shocks me because I'm not like a small knife guy at all. But the McKenna works well, dude. Like, it flips so good, and like, I thought it was going to be so small. Front flippers can be a little bit fidgety sometimes, and with how tiny that thing is, I thought, man, this thing's going to be a disaster. But it's not, dude. It's good. Like, so that one's cool. And then what else did I have for? Right now, I've got a Civivi Brigand that I'm doing some mod work on. That's a pretty cool one too. And so, yeah, I mean, I've had some Civivis here and there. I'll tell you, the knives that I'm super impressed with right now that just recently came out are the Wee Kite Fin.
I've checked that one out too.
Yeah, and the Civivi, or not the Civivi, the Kaiser Assassin. Those knives, they both compete in kind of the same, like 3 1/4 inch blade, super lightweight, both are S35 VN, full titanium frame locks. They're cool for sure.
What do you think about,
the price points are good.
You told me that you had the Concept like Cryo, right? And,
yep.
How do you feel about that knife, or like, what if you've checked out any other Concept knives? You do know the story with them, right? Like,
it was a guy from Kaiser, right?
That Kim Ning, right?
Okay.
Like, it was like a beef or something, and then they dipped out.
All right.
They made Concept knives, and that's why you don't see Tangram knives, which was the budget, like the Civivi of Kaiser, because Kim Ning was a big part of that. I don't know. I mean, I keep saying this on podcasts that there was a beef, and I'm not even sure, but most people are saying that. That's like the rumor.
Yeah.
No, how do you feel about him? Like, Concept stuff, like.
I was just talking to, we talked a little bit ago about BJ Hill at Hilltop Knives and Gear, and I was just talking to him the other night about this because, the Concept Cryo was, I feel like they had 2 different directions they could have gone, and the more I thought about it, they went the direction that was the safer play, which was, we're going to bring out this, premium level. It's S35 VN, it's titanium, and the fit and finish is good, but the design is just another, like 5 or 6 years ago we would have been shitting at a knife of this quality for that price and all that stuff. But today the market has changed, and so although it's a great knife, and there's really no issue with it at all. And the one thing that I thought was super interesting about it was the pocket clip, which I'll come back to in a second. But to me, they could have gone 2 directions. They chose to go the direction which I think was the safer play, but then it puts them into an area where there's just so much to choose from. So it's like a 3 1/2 inch drop point titanium frame lock, and it's a flipper, and it's well made. It's S35 VN, and it's one of 500 knives just like it out there. The other choice could have been, we do something like something that's a little more edgy. People are either going to love it or hate it. But, I feel like those were kind of the 2 paths to kind of launch a new brand.
Yeah.
And it's kind of it's kind of a catch-22, because you can turn people off if you go too edgy. But then if you go too mainstream, you just get lost in the sea of mainstream knives.
That's one thing I look for. Go for it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, the pocket clip was interesting to me because it was the first knife that I've ever seen, and I think, well, I'll just grab one here because I don't have that one, but like on this this Kaiser here, it had a milled titanium pocket clip with 2 screws in it, and it was curved like this on the Concept Cryo, but then it had 2 holes over here that were canted in a different orientation, and you use the same clip, but the clip curves the opposite direction, but it worked well on both sides, which I thought was really great.
Wow.
I'm actually left-handed. So for me, milled titanium clips, generally, I don't get to carry those left-handed. and on that one you can, and it actually works out better on the Concept Cryo because you don't have the relief cut for the lock bar when you flip the clip to the opposite side. And I just thought it was a real ingenious way to approach it, because most people, when they make the clip reversible, you know, they just do a straight clip, the holes, the orientation's the same on both sides. And, you know, Concept did something different there, and I thought that was neat. But I also think that it's such, they went so mainstream with it that there's not going to be very many people that look at it enough to figure that out, you know? So I'm not sure. I mean, hopefully they do well, because, I mean, it's a nice knife. There's nothing wrong with it.
I feel like I've checked out maybe 3 of their knives, the Warrior, the Mini Cryo, maybe 2. And I feel like I definitely got some Kaiser vibes from it, but it kind of it was kind of doing its own thing. You know, speaking to the edgy part, have you checked out any of the Williamson Copenhagen line, Mikkel Williamson's production line?
Not yet. I'm on the Apex group.
I got the box today.
That's awesome.
So I have had, this is the Red E, right? I have this. I don't have it in all black like this, but this is a knife that you can get for $68, right? Reversible deep carry clip, recessed screws, D2 blade steel, axis lock, smooth as fuck.
It's axis lock.
Crazy sound too when you close it. I've never heard anything like it. It's like chainmail almost. And they really hit this out of the park, man. I mean, 68 bones, you get an axis lock, D2, you know, Mikkel Williamson design for sure. I think the G10 is a little rough. That's probably my only complaint about it, but so sound, man.
Sandpaper will fix that.
Yeah, I really like it, man. I don't even know how to feel yet. Like I unboxed all the stuff today, but that's a crazy story that I'll tell you right now is the reason why the Apex Fast Around group has these knives is Mikkel Williamson hit me up, yo.
Nice. That's awesome.
The Red E, right? I just loved it. I saw this design on their Instagram a while ago. I think JT put it on his stories, and he was like, yo, this is sick. And I just followed it the whole time, waited for it to come out, bought it, did a review on it. This is when I was still vlogging around the city. I was still doing a lot of cinematic stuff. Mikkel Williamson hits me up. No designers talk to me, okay? Like, I am a small fish in this, you know, okay sized pond of knife YouTube. And he says, yo, he goes, dude, I watched your review. It's super dope. And I was like, oh my God.
Right.
I told him about, you know, like I'm really bad at business and like networking. And I was like, hey, you know, I am from a pass around group where there are over 30 plus reviewers, including people like Nick Shabazz and Cedric and Ada Gear and Outdoors. Would you like to we would love to check out your line. Let us know if you'd be interested. And then he was like, I'm all for that, you know, and then I just gave it to Blake.
That's awesome.
To deal with it. And, you know, I was a little, you know, I told Leigh Banner this when I did the podcast with him. I was a little hurt because when I signed, like, I got the knives for us. And like when the list first started, I was on the bottom, dude. Like, but you know what? What I told him, I was like, David, I love what you're doing, man, because that was the smartest decision. Because I would have held on to him for too long. And I want the other people to check it out first, you know? Like, you give it to somebody like Big Red, they will be done with it in like a week, like the whole line.
Right.
And like me, it takes me a little longer, like 2.5 weeks maybe, maybe even 3. And then Blade Banner has to hit me up and say, hey, you gotta send this. You know,
you gotta pass them along. It's called the Pass Around group. Yeah. No, I totally get it though. And
this is another one I just want to talk about. With just one more, is the Chibs, which is like this huge knife, right? And it's in
I'm digging the backspacer.
Yeah, so it's in D2. Cool. It's in D2 with carbon fiber and stainless steel. Now, it's a weird mix of stuff because I was expecting this one to be like titanium and carbon fiber with like S35VN. But it's D2 with carbon fiber, and I think this is stainless, man. Like the the other material, but the action is like absolutely amazing. And this is one of the ones.
Is it made by Real Steel?
You know what? It's not. It's theirs. I asked them. I was like, "Who made these?"
They actually manufacture.
Yeah, it's our own thing in Copenhagen. And I was like, "Damn, dude!" You know, definitely.
That's awesome.
Hitting a market where they're putting materials together that other companies aren't trying to put together. Like their titanium frame lock flipper has like OS8 in it. Like I don't know why they went that route. I think it's kind of, and I think they're able to compete, you know, with the price range of whatever these knives are priced at. I mean, $6 to $8 for an Axis lock that's like smooth. It's a Mikkel Williamson design is kind of crazy.
Yeah, and I love that kind of stuff. Like, still to this day, one of my all-time favorite EDCs is, and then I screw it up.
Oh, I wanted to check that one out.
The Buck Marksman, or this is the SK Blades Inferno.
That's so cool.
That I did some mod work too, but this knife, it's such a good knife, dude. And you can buy this thing for like $110 or something, and the action is unlike anything else out there. The pocket clip's a true deep carry. It's reversible. It's a great knife. And you know, knives don't have to be expensive to be great. You know, they don't have to be $500. And you know, this thing's got a super sweet hollow grind on it. It's S35 VN. It works well. It's really light. It's like 3 ounces, 3.5 ounces, maybe 3.5-inch blade. And it's just a great, spectacular knife. And
the locking mechanism.
So for me,
the locking mechanism. I don't know why I couldn't say mechanism just now. I don't know why. But
it's super cool, dude. I just love it. It works so great. And once you get it down, you know, you can just, it's such a fidget toy.
That's what I do with my knives most of the time. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all I do.
You need to check out a Marksman or an SK Blades.
Man, that's awesome.
Which I heard that SK Blades is having some issues, or they shut down for a little bit or something. I'm not sure what's going on, but yeah, I mean, this thing, it's got the blade hole, which you can Spidey flick and stuff. It's cool, no doubt.
Dude, do you?
I just got a new.
Go ahead.
I just got this new Spyderco the other day. This is actually a little bit of an older model. It's the Tropin.
Wow.
And it's another one this one will hurt you. If you look in the compression lock, it'll cut the shit out of you.
Oh, because it has, wow.
You can see where the blade comes up through there.
Yep. Yeah. That'll mess you up.
Yeah. It'll do stuff like that right there.
Like if you're not paying attention, it'll get you.
Yeah, if you're not paying attention, but it's made fun. In the Tai Tung plant, and it's a flipper. But action's great. It's on bearings, actually. It's running the same bearings that came in the Smock. And it's a 4-inch blade.
Wow.
S30V. It's a cool one, man. I really dig it.
It looks so cool. I've seen that one before. Did you get to check out the Bombshell, since we're on the topic of Spyderco?
Yep.
How do you feel about that one?
Man, dude, that thing was so comfortable in hand. Like, it, you know, it looks like a freaking bean, you know? It's like this goofy looking little thing. I didn't really care for the aesthetics of it, but dude, when you got that thing in hand, like it fit so good. And Molly said it fit great in her hand as well. So I've got pretty big paws on me. And, you know, my wife's hands are way, way smaller than mine. And the fact that it worked well for her and myself, it was, that knife was cool, man, for sure.
Damn, I gotta check that one out. I think Bearded Gear is gonna send me his. That guy's a cool dude. Do you know him?
Yeah, I don't. I've never talked to him. I know who he is.
He's a cool dude.
If there's ever any Spydercos you want to check out, let me know, dude. Because I sell a lot of them, so you have to hit me up when they're kind of fresh, because I'm more than happy to send some your way so you can check them out.
Oh, man, thanks, man. You're helping a jungle Asian boy out, because like I have absolutely no money, and I have really been getting by with just loaners and donations and Apex Fast Round group. You know,
well, I tried to do. I've brought this up like several times with other YouTubers, and and before I was part of the Apex Pass Around group, and the group's great. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome. But not every manufacturer is taking part in the group. And so like Spyderco, for example, if you're kind of relying on the group to send knives, Spyderco, you're just kind of out.
Yeah. Yep.
And
definitely.
So I always thought it would be really cool if, 8 or 10 of us got together, and let's just say we, say that we're buying in a range from $150 to $200 or whatever it is, whatever the number is that we come up with, but we all go and pick a knife, whatever it is. And then with the intention that they're going to get used, they're going to get beat up, they're going to get abused, whatever. And then, at the end of each month or whatever, we all rotate them. And so we could all experience, 8 or 10 different knives and only buy one, like we each pay for one. But then we get to see, 8 or 10 for our investment,
Yeah. Dude, you know what's a crazy pass around that I do every time it's up is the give a knife, take a knife. You heard of it?
Dude, I wanted to get in with JT last time, but I wasn't cool enough. I hit him up and I was like, man, I'd love to be a part of that deal.
I think it was close. Like, I think now what he's trying to do is have it go on forever.
Well, the last one he did when he sent it out, because like it went to Stasa or something, and
I think that was the first one, the smaller one. Now it's huge. Yeah.
Oh, well.
How many years ago was that? Was that like maybe
no, this was just like 6 months ago, maybe. And I'm on my phone, but I could go back and look in the Instagram chat, but I hit him up and I was like, man, I'd love to be a part of that. That'd be really cool. And I like the idea. I think the idea is cool. And then he said something like, well, I'll have to check out your channel and see. And I was like, okay, cool. And then, so I just figured I wasn't cool enough.
Never got to watch it. No, dude, you're definitely.
It's cool.
I've known JT.
It's not a big deal.
No, but like the thing is like, I want cool channels to be on it, and like you're in that class. So
I just think it's. I just thought it was a cool idea, and I thought it'd be fun to take part in that, and I mean, I think it's a cool thing all the way around. It, I followed it for a while, and it went to like, I know Big Red got it, and Slicey Dicey, and it went several places. But then I never saw it again, so I don't know what happened.
I made it so wild because when I got it, right, like I was, people thought I was being generous, but I was really being lazy, right? I mean, my video was fire. It was awesome. Like I had graphics, I had everything. But like at the end of it, I put in a Meundies Stub Gen 3, which is like a $375 knife. No, because like my reasoning was I think that it would give people joy to check this out, and if like no one picks it, JT is like awesome in eBay, and he could just like sell it if he doesn't want it, or he could keep it. Right? It is like a cool thing, right? It's like a knife.
For sure.
Yeah, and then after that, like people started getting wild, like people putting in like Liang mods and stuff like that. Like, damn.
That's awesome. But
you still have the option of just staying within the criteria, and I think like the range was like $50. Like that's
and
that's what's been going on right now. But I do think that I'm gonna like hit up JT and be like, yo, you should let this guy do it, because I think the point of it now though is for it to never end. Like, and then
and just see what happens or where it goes.
Like what ends up happening is like maybe at some points JT will be like, hey, send it back to me, then I'm gonna do a follow-up video on my channel and then send it back out to the next person and just have it go on like for the rest of
that's cool.
whatever time. Dude, we did like 2 hours of a podcast.
Are you serious?
Yeah, this is one of the longest ones that I've done. I think the longest one I did was when Jared and Caro were both on, and my girl was on with me. We did like a 4-person podcast. Dude, that maybe nice. Hey man, if you and your wife ever want to do that, you guys don't have to do reveal. You could do top down if you want. I think it would be really awesome to do that.
For sure. And the thing, we'll have to schedule that a little better than this here was, real kind of impromptu and whatnot. but yeah, dude, I'm sure she'd be down for it for sure. And yeah, and you know, I've been throwing around ideas to bring people on to our live show, and like you had mentioned it earlier about like calling in and whatnot, and I actually have the ability to do that.
I want to do that, man.
Yeah, and so I think it would work out pretty cool to do that, but you know, it sucks a little bit because you got these people that are in the chat and they're saying stuff or whatnot, but you can't, you know, there's time delay, and
you can't,
you know,
answer everybody, you know.
No, and it gets crazy, and my wife does a really great job of like filtering stuff out. You know, my buddy BJ was pointing out to me that because he's in there all the time and he's reading all the messages and stuff, and he said Molly does the wonderful job of filtering all the bullshit that she knows you're not going to be interested in or whatever, you know, which is great because it's really hard to watch everything and keep it flowing, you know, like if you're trying to talk about this or that and you're also trying to read comments and whatnot, you just end up with dead airspace, and it's just no good.
Yeah, you guys are an awesome team with the live stuff, man. When I'm gonna do one,
well, I appreciate it.
Probably gonna try one. You know, I never want to do one when someone else has one. Like that's why I'm trying to like find which day is gonna be good for me, and you know.
Yeah, and I don't know. I know, or at least it seems to me like that. You know, Neves, you mentioned them. I don't know that they really have like a set schedule. They just like kind of seem to go live. Yeah, because they're like, it's 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. We're live, bitches. And then, and then, you know, on Sunday, and then Monday comes around and whatever. Like Molly and I, we went off. Yeah. Sunday nights has always been the deal. But we did do a live show just this past Friday, but that was just a special occasion. That's not going to be any kind of normal thing. So we're just going to stick to the Sunday night deal. And, yeah, it works well for us. And, you know, it's just 1 hour. Well, it generally goes like an hour and a half or something. But,
yeah. You know, let me ask you this, right? If your channel like grew to a point where it was so financially viable as a career, would you do it?
I wouldn't just be a YouTube creator. Like
you would have to have multiple streams of income. You know what I mean? But with your YouTube growth could stem that exact business pathway. You know what I mean? This is something that I am always interested to ask knife YouTube creators about, because we haven't gotten to that point yet. Like knife YouTube does have people that do this for a living. Best Damn EDC is a perfect example. But
absolutely.
We are not at the point of these other big vloggers that are just cashing in millions of dollars a year.
Right.
But knife YouTube will become that eventually. Maybe at the end of our lifetime, that's what will happen.
Right.
But I'm always curious to see. Like I asked Big Red, and he was like, in a heartbeat, I would do it. I just like love it. You know.
For me, I look at this as a way to something different, or as like a pathway to it. And so, if you know, I already told you that I've got some stuff coming in the way of my own designs and whatnot. So like if that really took off, and if I could get to a point where I could buy better tooling and equipment and have a shop at my own property, at my house and all that sort of stuff, for sure, I would be all in on that, no doubt.
Because I think like a day in the shop is like good content already. Like you just like trying to figure out a problem and like asking your audience like, hey man, does anyone have experience with this? Because I'm having trouble working on this part, right? And then like you have this, it's just a whole thing. Like craftsmanship is huge,
right?
On all platforms, dude. I was telling Lindy and Richie, I'm like, you know, when you think of TikTok, you think about like these kids doing these dances, or like these thirst trap chicks, or like, you know, jack dudes like doing backflips or something. But what I see most of the time is like artisans, craftsmanship, people like painting, and it's just become this different thing now. And they're using the attention of the app to leverage their business. And it's working out for a lot of people. So, you know, it's just a thing to think about, man. You know, and I think you and your wife definitely have the chops to do something like that. You know what I mean?
Well, if we, if I certainly and will for sure. I just need to figure out the right way to do it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I definitely want to get to the point where I do kind of more how-to videos and stuff and show off
Yeah.
stuff in the shop and some welding and machining and all those kinds of things. I just don't have the camera set up. I mean, I need to get like a GoPro and some type of a gimbal set up to be able to move around. And
I can tell you what to get. Like, if you want to keep it low tech, right? Like, people are always like amazed that when I do a knife review, I do the what's dope about it, what's whack about it thing, right? That's like my bread and butter of the channel before, and it was like cinematic and like there's music, there's editing. That's all on my phone, man. I don't use anything else.
Yeah,
it's just I
do hardly any editing, very little.
Yeah, and you don't have to, dude. You don't have to at all. Like, it's just the content speaks for itself. I put all those bells and whistles because that's all I've got. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, that's the thing. And
I would love. I mean, it's not. I don't choose not to do the editing. I just don't know how to.
No. I mean, what I was trying to say was like, if you wanted to keep it low tech, so you don't have to spend all this money. Like, if you have a smartphone and like maybe $50, you could already do what you're doing because you already have a mic, you already have all that set up, and like you don't really need much more than that,
Do they make a decent like gimbal setup though, like for
because you want to walk around
mobile? Right.
Okay, so here's the deal. They do, but
I would also want to mount the camera. Like I've got some machining equipment and, it vibrates when it's running. And so in order to, mount
keep it
the camera,
steady. I have got a solution for you. What I use is from DJI, and it's called the Osmo Pocket. And basically it's like a small camera. I wish I had it on me, but I don't have it on me right now. Basically it just looks kind of like this. And it has a camera head on top, and it has a built-in camera, and it's a gimbal at the same time.
I've seen those,
If you press it 3 times, it'll front face. It has face tracking, and it's what I use for all my solo podcasts and like the triple camera stuff that I do. That's the only non-phone camera that I use, and you can literally buy that at Best Buy for like, I think it's like under 200. And then what I did at Best Buy, and I advise this to anyone who's buying gear, go to Best Buy to buy it, pay for the 2 to 4 year warranty, and you could literally break it in front of them in 2 years. When a new model comes out, they will give you the new model. That's it. Really? I've done it many times.
Right on.
Yeah, so it's kind of like I do everything low tech, dude. Like this mic. People are thinking like that costs a lot of money. I'm like, no, like Joe Rogan's mic is $500. This mic was like $69. Like I just found, you know what I mean? Like,
but it sounds good. It works.
Yeah.
Does that pocket thing? Is the video quality good? I mean, is it just as good as your phone?
You can do it's even better than the phone. You can do 4K. You can do 1080p. You can do slow motion stuff. You can do time lapse. So you can have it like, let's say you're working on a knife, and you can just have it track your hands, and then you can put it in time-lapse mode, and then like you'll have this cool video of you working on it for like 5 hours, and then it's like just quick like that. I haven't used that. Yeah, dude, if you ever need help with that stuff, I am like the techier guy, I guess, like within our class of YouTubers. Like I love that
I'll
stuff.
definitely hit you up for sure. Because dude, I mean, that's kind of where I struggle for sure.
Yeah. Where can people find you? Like, tell them about your Instagram and your YouTube.
On YouTube you can find me at OCD-4-EDC, and it's the number 4. And same thing on Instagram, OCD-4-EDC. Yeah. And you can hit me up in my email if you want to talk to me about doing some mod work, anodizing, whatever. You can see all my knife mod playlist on YouTube. You can email me at info@ocd4edc.com.
Dude, it has been a pleasure having you on. I think like second hour, we really ramped it up a bit after your story about beating the crap out of that guy. Like your coolness factor went from like 10
that just changed
to like 50. Yeah. I was like, all right, this is my dude right here.
Right on.
Dude, thank you for doing this.
I beat the shit out of some little bum in a hotel.
Hey, man, you know, I'd rather
hey.
him than you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, for sure. It was cool. Like I said, I mean, I'm super glad that nobody, you know, I didn't get hurt. Like everybody was good. Everybody got their shit back. That was all good, man.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Dude, you are welcome on the show anytime you want. When you get all that stuff set up, if you want to talk about any upcoming videos you have on the channel that you like worked hard on, or maybe like the giveaway or anything like that, you're welcome here anytime. This is your boy in the NYC. Awesome. It's me, Ray, and this is the EDCCP saying peace.
Yo, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so we can squad up in the comments.